Hey gamers, Minus10 here. In this video, I'm going to review my very first NuPhy gaming keyboard, the Field75 HE. Now, when NuPhy posted the Field75 HE for pre-orders, I got mine in straight away. Now, for the past week, I have been working and gaming on the Field75 HE, and it's an impressive gaming keyboard at a very affordable price. It also worked well for my day job, and those days are very long. Now, before we begin, I do want to note that I purchased the NuPhy Field75 HE with my own money, and all the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone. All right, with that out of the way, let's jump in. All right, let's get to the elephant in the room. What is up with that bar on the left side of the keyboard? When I saw it on the pre-order photos, I was mightily impressed with how ugly it looked. My first thought was, what was NuPhy thinking? Well, it didn't take me long to figure it out, and I liken it to the keyboard version of a fanny pack. It's ugly as sin, but pretty darn practical. The keyboard bar is a great addition that helps gamers lift the keyboard to quickly insert the USB Type-C cable. I also found my hand resting on it throughout the week, and it sort of acted like a non-fidget fidget spinner. Needless to say, I love this rather grotesque design choice, and I'm pretty confident this bar will get some positive feedback, and it won't be long before it's copied. The Field75 HE is a wired-only keyboard, and the reason why is it offers up to 8K polling. If wireless was an option, the battery would drain in a few hours. Sorry, wireless gamers. In regards to the USB Type-C port, I found that I could not use third-party cables unless the connector was as long as the NuPhy cables connector. I tried a longer USB Type-C scuff cable, but its USB-C connector is too short and the Field75 HE would constantly disconnect. The other thing is the USB Type-C port is very wobbly. I did contact NuPhy support to check on a replacement, but they said this is most likely the same on other units. So gamers, this is one thing to consider. How far away is your desktop or laptop, as you may need to buy a longer third-party cable? I ordered my Field75 HE with the magnetic jade switches, which have an initial force of 30 grams and they bottom out with 50 grams. The actuation range is from 0.1 to 3.3 millimeters. The feel of the magnetic jades is quite nice and they feel a lot heavier than its listed force requirements. For me, this is a good thing. For keycaps, I love my RGB bling, and I ordered the shine-through keycaps to max it out. Although I'm not a fan of the keycaps fonts and the font positioning, the shine-through does its job and the keyboard looks fantastic with the light show blazing away. The shine-through keycaps are made from polycarbonate materials, but the stock keycaps are double-shot PBT and they feel fantastic under the fingers. So if you don't need the RGB glory, the stock Captain of the Bridge keycaps are excellent. Interestingly, the Field75 HE doesn't have that typical NuPhy thok, but rather a more pingy sound. Now, here is a comparison between the NuPhy Halo 75 V2 and the Field75 HE. Clearly, the Halo 75 sounds better, and there is a reason why. Magnetic switches need more precision to accommodate the varying actuation points, so NuPhy has to use an aluminum plate. NuPhy had to eliminate the soft gasket mount and PC palm plates, which really help out with that thocky sound. Because of this design change, when gamers bottom out the switches, it's a rather harsh feeling on the fingers. So, don't be surprised when you first start typing on the Field75 HE. Hey, a quick commercial for my channel. If you find this content useful, please hit that like button as it really helps out my channel. If you would like to follow me as a content creator, click that subscribe button to get notifications on when my videos post. All right, back to the review. As to typing and comfort, I didn't use the ordered wrist rest as it's hard and I always prefer a gel wrist rest, with some give. This week I was logging very long hours at the day job, but I never tired using the Field75. It was a pleasure to type on for long periods and I enjoyed it. For Zoom calls, I did double check my Mackie DLZ noise gate as the pingy sounds ring at a higher frequency. With only a couple changes, I was able to minimize the noise over my mic while taking notes on Zoom calls. In regards to the 8K polling, I did play several rounds of Warzone, but I really couldn't tell the difference. As the Field75 HE is always connected, I just left the 8K polling on along with 100% RGB. For NuPhy's productivity keyboards, I've never been able to get VIA to work and always recommended that NuPhy design its own web app. Well, I'm glad NuPhy did for the Field75 HE keyboard, as NuPhyIO is outstanding. Very easily, gamers can swap the key bindings, set the trigger settings, lighting effects, and update the keyboard's firmware. NuPhy takes full advantage of the Gateron white or jade switches. Under the trigger settings menu, gamers can select their switch type and then make adjustments for actuation points, rapid trigger, activate, deactivate, set the dead zones, enable dynamic keystrokes, and set continuous rapid trigger. However, I would be cautious about using continuous rapid trigger in an FPS or BR game, as it may be considered cheating. There is a lot to digest in NuPhy's IO web app, and it gives gamers endless flexibility to set up their keyboards the way they want for each game. It's really awesome. Like the handle, NuPhy made some additional design choices that I think will be polarizing. Either you like them or you don't. For example, the volume scroll wheel has a very pleasing feel and tactile click between each scroll with a solid click to note the change. However, gamers need to push the scroll wheel to the side to mute the volume. I'm not a fan of this and I just wish it was a push down to mute. In regards to the G keys, these are not macro keys, but rather single key action assignments. For example, the G1 to G4 keys are the media keys with back, forward, stop, and pause play assigned. F5 to F8 are up to the gamer to decide. I appreciate these additional keys. They have a quality feel and provide adequate feedback when pressed. The M1 to M3 flipper allows gamers to quickly switch between profiles. Mac is M1, PC is M2, and game mode is M3. This is a feature I really like, as you can quickly switch between PC and game mode very quickly. Gamers can also configure these three modes per game. For me, I use M2 for work and M3 for gaming. Lastly, there is a dial in the top left, and this is used to change the RGB lighting and its brightness. This is one key that I think NuPhy could do without. The reality is, once RGB is set, gamers rarely change it. A couple other small but appreciated design choices are the indicator lights. In the upper right-hand corner, there are three lights. The top light is the caps lock indicator, which is much better than the multi-purpose light on NuPhy's other keyboards. The middle light tells gamers which keyboard mode they are in, and there are three modes. And the last light gives you an indication as to when a key switch actuates. However, this changes so fast, it's more of a bling feature. Finally, pricing. As with its other keyboards, the Field75 HE is aggressively priced at $150 US. Gamers can get an excellent keyboard with tons of features, decent looks, and with pricing that will allow many gamers to enjoy it. Gamers can increase the price by adding the jade switches and the wrist rest, but the stock keyboard will be good enough for most. So, wrapping this all up, NuPhy crushed it again with an outstanding gaming keyboard. The NuPhy standout features are its adjustable magnetic switches, NuPhy's web app, NuPhyIO, that gives gamers near endless flexibility, the stock PBD double shot keycaps, and all the other little design choices. I absolutely love the gaming handlebar. The only complaint I have is the wobbly USB Type-C port, so gamers will need to make sure they use the included USB Type-C cable. Going forward, the NuPhy Field75 HE is going to be my main keyboard, so I can see how it performs over a longer period of time. Stay tuned to this video for a NuPhy Field75 HE sound test and unboxing. Thanks for watching.